to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Vanessa, and I'm going to give you guys my July wrap-up. What can I say about my reading for July? It was a bit, I read 4 books. I'll just start right there. I read 4 books, which is kind of disappointing. But you know what? I literally had so much going, y'all. I had so much going on in July. July was such an insane, packed month that I'm even surprised I got 4 of them done. Because that's kind of like what, 1 book a week. So I'm even surprised I did that. But usually, because like in the summer, I usually do my most reading. But whatever. But anyway, I read a total of 4 books. Okay, so the 4 books that I read for July were Front Desk. Also, I read the book, Front Desk by Kelly Yang. I read the book Pregnant AF by Sarah Ordo. I read All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. And I listened to Crooked Hallelujah. Crooked Hallelujah was actually my June read, but I didn't finish it until July, which I will get into that more. So the first book that I actually have read was Front Desk by Kelly Yang, and it was so good, you guys. Like, I gave it a 3.5, but it was just really, really good. It's a middle grade book about a young girl who, with her family, have immigrated from China, and, they think, oh my gosh, America is this great land of opportunity. And they get here, and they are poor and they are struggling. And because they're immigrants, they may not speak the language all that well. Like I said, they're poor now. They're having a really hard time. So they're barely like making money, and so the family gets a job at a motel, running a motel, and the owner he's really mean. He takes like a bunch of money from them. Like, he overcharged. Like, he's like, oh, that's coming out of your paycheck. That's coming out of your paycheck. He's telling them to like not let bad people rent from them, and by bad people, black people. That's what he means, black people. He's just an awful person, and he's an immigrant himself. And I guess he's like an example of what not to do. I don't know, but it's just weird, it was really, really weird. It was such a good book, though. I love Mia. She is, like I said, she's like a 6th grader, and she's trying to go to school, and like I said, her family is like running this motel, so they're staying in in a 1-room, I guess, flat. I don't know, or a 1-room apartment. I don't know, but her parents give her their bedroom while they sleep on the sofa bed. And, like I said, they're barely scraping by, and they're eating, like, crackers, munched up together. It was just, they were poor. But they would secretly help other immigrants who were struggling. Like, some of them, they came from, like, China, and, like, they knew them. Like, one guy, he was either a doctor or an engineer in China, and he came here, and he was a valet and a dishwasher, and he was just like, I can't do this. But they gave him a room. Like, so sometimes like these immigrants will stay with them for like a night or two, and they won't charge them for it, and they'll have to, like I said, they snuck them in. And like I said, the owner also, he did not like black people. And so like one of the tenants was a black man, an older black man, and he had it rough. Like, something happened and they automatically blamed him for it, or there was like a robber and he was automatically like, oh, was he black? And they're like, no, he was not black. So like there's a lot of discrimination going on in that book. And Mia did her best to like turn every situation around, like any way, shape or form that she could. And it's kind of crazy because like I followed the author Kelly Yang online, and she said that like one district, I don't know what district it was, they were trying to, or there was a group of parents or something like that. Basically, a group was trying to get her book banned from schools. And this was before I read the book, so I was like, why would they want to do that? And then I read the book, and I was like, oh, I see why. And it wasn't actually nothing bad. It was just she was being honest about her experience here as a child. and some of that experiences where people weren't kind to her because she was an immigrant, and the cops were kind of really mean. And they're like, well, they're supposed to protect us. Like, why are they being so mean and discriminatory? And Henry, the black guy, he was doing her best to tell him like, hey, this is how it is. There's nothing that we can do about it, but this is just how it is. And so that made me a little bit sad, but it was true though. But like I said, it's just such a good book for like middle grade, and I highly like recommend it, and I can't wait to read like the rest of her stories, the rest of Mia's stories, because I think there's like 2 or 3 more books for her story, so I'm excited about that. But all right. So the next book that I read was the book, the book. I read a book by Sarah Ordo. I love her so much. She's one of my favorite self-published authors. She kind of inspired me to get self-published. And so anyway, she wrote a book called Pregnant AF. Even though I'm not pregnant, like I said, I love her books, and they're really enjoyable for me. Like honestly, like I really do enjoy them. But anyway, I read her book, Sober AF, and it's just basically like I want to say like she started it out as a pregnancy book, but it's more like trying to get pregnant, pregnancy, and then like that year after. I mean, like the first year of having the baby. And it was really, really good. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is the science behind whatever, and this is what's going on with your body. Like, she touched on what was going on with her body, but she was also talking about her feelings because, like I said, she's a millennial, and she has a business, and so she was just dealing with, like, her feelings on, oh, I'm such a hard worker and I had to build this business because she just opened like a brick and mortar. So it's kind of like freshly new brick and mortar. Before it was more like a, travel business. But yeah, so she's trying to like build this business up, and she's just like, oh my God, like, she's actually pregnant. So it's a new thing for her because she's just like, oh, my body is like rejecting this, and my body is telling me slow down, and I don't want to because I had this business to build. So she's like talking about that, the issues with her husband, the issues with like herself, like how she's viewing herself. And it's just a really nice like look at, yes, this is what's going on with your body, but at the same time, this is also what's going on in general. And like, you shouldn't feel bad about feeling certain feelings, especially when she was like, she wanted this pregnancy for so long, and she's been like waiting, and she's been feeling inadequate. So like, whenever I do have children, when I do have children, I definitely do want to read this book. But it is just so good. And she talks like she's talking to a friend, and she talks about like the depression, and then also the feelings of, after you have your newborn baby. She's like, after 2 or 3 months, people go back to their lives, and they do go back to their lives, and they're kind of like, okay, you had this new baby, you're on your own. And it's like, what? Like, I'm still struggling. So it was just super cute. Like, I loved it. I really did enjoy it. I gave it like a 4.5. And like I said, it's just so nice to see her journey from Sober AF, that was her first book, to like now. And like how, before, like in Sober AF, she was freshly sober, and she was like dating, and like throughout her book, you kind of see like her path of like, okay, she's dating someone, like her now husband, oh, they're engaged, they're planning out their lives, and now they have a baby. And it was just so nice to see her journey. And as someone who's, like in sobriety, it was just such a great book. And so I really do highly recommend it. Like, I would buy it as a gift for someone, like, honestly. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention that. These books will be listed below in the description if you wanted to check them out. The third book that I read was All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. I have been hearing about that book from so many people. No, not so many people. Mainly Haley from Pages of Haley. Her channel will be listed below, but she would not stop raving about this book. Like, literally would not stop raving. Okay? She talks about it all the time. She talked about it on Instagram. She talked about it on YouTube. She talked about it on TikTok. Like, she really loved the book. And so I was like, okay, let me read this book. Y'all, it was so good. First of all, it's my first book from that I've read from Sabaa Tahir. I haven't read the Ember and the Ashes series, and afterwards I'm going to read the Ember and the Ashes series eventually. But y'all, I have not, like, this. It was so good. It was just so good. So yeah, it was just amazing. It's like about immigrants again, teens this time, teenagers. They're Islamic, and they are dealing with heavy stuff like drug addiction or alcohol addiction, physical abuse, or sexual molestation, Islamophobia, all of this stuff. And, they're teenagers. So they're trying to like get through life, and they have all of these obstacles. And like I said, like the title is perfect. All My Rage. It really does, like, because you understand like why they're, well, at least one of the girls, the girl was filled with rage, and it was just so good. Like, it follows like two teens, and like it says that it's an enemies to friends to lovers. I think it's a friends to lovers, because like to me it's just they had an argument, they kind of fell out. I don't really think that's enemies. I just feel like since they're childhood friends, it's a friends to lovers story, and it deals with like grief. Sal's mom's died, and he's dealing with that, and Nora is dealing with her uncle, who doesn't want her to go to college. He just wants her to just, stay down. And she's dealing with a bully, Jamie, who I hate. I hate her with a passion. I honestly do. And Sal is dealing with his father, who is an alcoholic. And so he's trying to run his family's motel. Why are they both? I just noticed. Front Desk and All My Rage, they both families was like running motels. Anyway. And so it's just all like they're trying to like get through high school and graduate and go to college. So like they're dealing with all of that. And it's a lot. So it's a very heartbreaking tale, and it was just moving and beautiful. I loved it, and I gave that like 5 stars. And then the final book that I gave 3 stars, Crooked Hallelujah. I listened to Crooked Hallelujah. And so Crooked Hallelujah was the June pick for the Reading in Color book club with Janine from The Story Ain't Over. Again, I'll link both down in the description. Her channel and the book club's channel. So in the book club, what we do is each month we read a book from a BIPOC author. So for June, it was Crooked Hallelujah, from Indigenous Americans, or about an Indigenous American family. And it was like a multi-generational story, starting from like the grandma and the mom and the daughter, and they're super like religious, and it kind of like, I don't know, it just reminded me of like my cousins and stuff, because like they like grew up in a church, and I want to say it's like almost like a Pentecostal church, because that's what it felt like when I was listening to the book. Which, by the way, I don't know, like that the narrator, I don't even know. I didn't enjoy her. I did not enjoy that narrator at all. But anyway, it felt like it was going to be so great, but then like towards the end, it started like speeding up. It was a very fast-paced ending, and it's like, wait, what? But it was a pretty good book. Like the mom had her daughter at a young age, and the grandma was all like, you need to pray, and you need to be saved, and take it to the Lord, take it to Jesus, and I'm just like I said, the accent, I was like, what? Like I said, I gave it a 3, so it wasn't terrible. So you read it if you want, for sure. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this wrap-up video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below what books you read in July. Like, I would really love to know. So have a great day, guys.